Trafford received a sprinkling of snow throughout Manchester United's game against Real Betis in the Europa League. Spring has begun, and yet clearly not in England. Jadon Sancho, who was wearing gloves and a woolly hat, started on the bench for the game, but he likely headed into the dressing room at halftime thinking he would soon be substituted onto the pitch. Antony had started on the right wing and had been anonymous throughout the first half, but Erik ten Hag made no changes at the break and Sancho remained wrapped up on the bench instead, a decision which was vindicated in the 52nd minute. Although Antony was disappointing in the first half and seemed the most likely candidate to be replaced, he burst into life shortly after play resumed to restore United's advantage with a beautiful, curling effort into the corner. Real Betis goalkeeper Claudio Bravo knew Antony's intention on the ball, but he was helpless in preventing him from scoring. That is what the Brazilian winger is capable of, and he duly celebrated by dancing in the snow at the Stretford end. The 90 minutes against Real Betis epitomized Antony's time spent in Manchester so far, as he's regularly been unable to impact entire games this season, despite having the ability to produce a moment of magic from nowhere. Antony might be predictable, but he's still often hard to stop when he gets it right. The 23-year-old clearly has talent in abundance, but supporters would like to see his flashes actually sustained in matches, especially considering he was signed for £85 million. Ten Hag, who signed Antony at Ajax and who was desperate to rekindle that relationship at United in the summer, was asked about the player in his post-match press conference on Thursday night, and he said what most fans were thinking. "I don't think he can only do it in the Europa League games because he scored in his first 3 games in the Premier League," Ten Hag said. "But in the first half, he could do better to make more actions, be more brave, go more behind, taking players on. But especially more movement, using his speed, and I think the second half performance was much better. He made a great goal, an important goal." The winger couldn't have made a better start to life at United when scoring against Arsenal, Manchester City and Everton in his first 3 appearances, which Ten Hag referenced, but it seems fair to say his campaign has been indifferent. It's his first season in England, of course, but the hefty price tag he commanded brings an expectation to perform quicker, to an extent. The attacking options have also been depleted at times, and Antony has been needed to deliver. He's contributed 7 goals and a single assist, 8 goal contributions, in 28 appearances, and for perspective, Marcus Rashford was widely derided last season for recording 5 goals and 2 assists, 7 goals contributions, in 32 appearances. Antony has already surpassed Rashford's contribution from last season in fewer appearances, but it doesn't seem like he'll end the season too far ahead of that tally, which suggests he could be doing more as the first choice right forward. Ten Hag urged Antony to make more actions, be braver, go behind more, the players on, and increase his movements with his speed after Thursday's win against Real Betis, and that felt like a diplomatic way of saying he must improve in all areas. It would also be welcome to see Antony take on the opposition fullback more often in games, as he currently prefers to cut inside at most opportunities, and varying his skill set would help him become more of a creative asset. He's an obvious goal threat and his left foot can act like a wand, but adding more assists to his game can only be a good thing. His teammates would benefit from improved service into the box, and it would make the attack more dynamic. Antony was eventually replaced in the 82nd minute of the game by Facundo Pellistri, not Sancho. He took his place on the bench, wrapped himself up warm, and he would have been satisfied with his second-half performance. However, Antony will only start the path to becoming a genuinely successful signing when impacting entire games. That is his challenge for the remainder of the season.
Now in this righteous world